Friends, we start the wisdom sharing session on Ashtavakra Gita. We had a short break during the month of December. We have done 7 sessions to date, and we have covered nearly 9 of the first sutras. We need to remember that the goal of every word in Ashtavakra Gita is to trigger self-realization. So what is self-realization? Paramahansa Yogananda says, self-realization is the knowing in body, mind, and soul that we are one with the omnipresence of God. I repeat, self-realization is the knowing in body, in mind, and in soul that we are one with the omnipresence of God. That we do not have to pray that it comes to us. That we are not merely near it at all times, but that God's omnipresence is our omnipresence, and that we are just as much a part of Him now as we ever will be. Paramahansa Yogananda then tells us all we have to do is improve our knowing. Today we are going to look at Sutra number 10 and Sutra number 11. So I'm going to share my screen for Sutra number 10. What does Sutra number 10 tell us? That the universe is an illusion. The universe is an illusion like the mirage of a snake in a rock. You are awareness, bliss, supreme bliss. Be happy. So what Ashtavakra is telling us that this imaginary world, the world that we live in, is actually imaginary. It is projected like a snake on a rope. At some time we must have seen a piece of rope lying maybe on a road or somewhere in the dark, and immediately the idea of a snake comes. When the idea comes, a snake is actually projected onto the rope. Sometimes we run, we scream, and we shout. We might even fall over while running and break a limb. Later on, we find out that it was only a rope. But that is of no use to us now because we've already broken a limb. But if we have even a small lamp of awareness, a little light, then even in the darkest night, we can see that the rope is a rope, not a snake. So that is why Ashtavakra says, in this very awareness, bliss and ultimate bliss is born. Throughout Ashtavakra Gita, Ashtavakra tells us, be happy. So what is he trying to tell us? He says, we have the key. We have the light. We have kept the light covered wastefully. Let us now take the cover off. Kabir has said, Lift the veil, lift the curtain of the veil. Push aside the curtain of thoughts, of passion, of expectations, of fantasies, and of dreams. These are the veils. Push them aside. Look with unveiled eyes. People sit veiled head to foot, and because of these veils, they cannot see anything. They are pushed here and there, and they fall into ditches. Ashtavakra says this imaginary world is projected like a snake on a rope. Knowing this, you are bliss, ultimate bliss. This existence is ultimate bliss. This existence actually doesn't know unhappiness. Unhappiness is our creation. It is difficult to understand this. We live in such misery. How can we believe that misery does not exist? The one who ran when he saw a piece of rope won't believe that there is no snake. The one who is sleeping with a pillow on his chest, thinking that a mountain has fallen on him, he cannot believe in that moment that a mountain has not fallen on him. To a certain extent, this is our situation. So what can we do? We need to move a little from the observed to the observer. We need to see everything, but not forget the one who sees. We hear everything, but not forget the one who hears. We do everything, but remember that we are not the doer. Buddha used to say, move on the path, and remember that within no one is moving. Buddha used to say, move on the path, the spiritual path, but remember that within no one is moving. Within all is still. And this is how it is. Have we seen the wheels of a moving vehicle? Yes, the axle remains still while the wheels move. In the same way, the wheels of life move, but the axle, us, the Atma, the Chaitanya, remains still. In the next verse, Ashtavakra tells us, let me just quickly share my screen. In the next verse, he says, you are what you think. If you think you are bound, you are bound. If you think you are free, you are free. So he tells us, he who considers himself free is free. And he who considers himself bound is bound. Because in this world, the proverb is true. As you think, so you are. This is a very significant sutra. What he's trying to tell us is, for freedom, nothing else has to be done. Just to know, just to be aware that we are free is enough. He is trying to tell us that freedom will not come from doing. Freedom comes from your knowing who you are. Like Patriji used to say, Dhyana se gnana ne gnana se mukti. So the mukti is dependent on gnan. Mukti is dependent on knowing. Freedom is not the result of any action. Freedom is the fruit of knowing. So Ashtavakra is telling us, he who considers himself free is free, and he who considers himself bound is bound. He who thinks I am in chains is in chains. He who thinks I am liberated is liberated. What happens is, we have thought. Our thinking has created our world. We need to change our thoughts. We need to wake up. We need to see everything in a new way. Everything will remain as it is. Only our way of seeing, thinking, knowing will change. And then everything will change. He says, he who considers himself free is free. And he who considers himself bound is bound. Atma is the witness, the all-pervading, perfect one, free, conscious, free from doing, alone, desireless, and peaceful. Because of the illusion, it looks like the world. However, the witness, the all-pervading and perfect. So what Ashtavakra is telling us is that we are perfect. We do not need to become perfect. He says nothing can be added to you. However we are, meaning the Atma, the Chaitanya, we are complete. The Atma or Chaitanya does not need any improvement. We do not have to climb any ladder. There is nothing above us. We are perfect. We are part and parcel of God, all-pervading, the witness, one free consciousness. We are free from doing, alone. No one binds us. We have no companion, we are alone. Ekam evam advityam Brahm. We are the supreme aloneness, we are desireless. We don't have to become anything. This is the difference in Ashtavakra's message. If we listen to Mahavir, he says you have to become these things. Ashtavakra says you already are. This is a very big difference, a great difference. It is no small difference. Mahavir says you have to become non-attached. You have to become desireless. You have to become perfect. You have to become all-pervading. You have to become the witness. Whereas Ashtavakra says, you are all these. All you have to do is to wake up. You have to open your eyes and see. Thank you, everyone. This is the 2 sutras that we have looked at today. We will continue the Ashtavakra Gita journey next Wednesday. If anyone has got anything to share, please feel free to unmute yourself and share any wisdom, or if you have any questions. So if no one has any questions or anything that they would like to share, thank you everyone for joining this evening's meditation and listening to this wisdom sharing session. Hopefully you will join again tomorrow in the morning, same time, 6 a.m. Germany time, and in the evening, 6 p.m. Germany time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.